Hey guys, Brendan here. Another quick video update. As you can see behind me, nothing's in the engine bay. So I'm going to explain to you how I got to this point. Alright, so first off, let me just say I'm terrible at recording stuff, especially when it comes to working on the car. I'm trying to be better about it and just stay more consistent. Basically, everything that I've gotten done so far is completing the fabrication work on the turbo kit, which I'll show you some of that in a minute. And I also completed all the fuel system routing. The only thing I really have left to do is powder coat everything, Cerakote everything, wire some stuff, do the battery relocation, and then we got to get the bay painted. So in the coming days, weeks, hopefully, everything's going to get done in the engine bay, and I plan on doing some other work outside the car. I'll go over that as well. But Cliff's just kind of got some stuff going on right now, so he's just wanting to do the engine bay, which is fine with me. I'm not in any rush to finish the car at this point. So I'm going to get the engine bay prepped for him, and then we're going to take that over to him one day, just whenever he has time. He's going to spray the bay, and then that'll be done and dusted. I don't have to worry about it anymore. So I'll show you some of the fab work that I did and some of the custom parts that I bought, and we'll just go from there. Okay, so I just wanted to touch on a few things in the engine bay. Basically, it's just some stuff that I need to prep before taking it to Cliff. So as you can see, the engine bay is in primer, but I still need to scuff up this primer. So I'm going to hit the whole engine bay with 320 grit sandpaper and red Scotch-Brite for the areas that's hard to reach. And then I'm also planning on taking a couple more things out, such as these tabs coming off the strut towers. So I have to cut those off, and then Cliff, he said he can just throw some etch primer up there before spraying it, so I'm also going to cut this one off because I'm moving the battery to the trunk, and then I'm also changing up how the wiring harnesses ran since I'm putting everything down here. So that tab's no longer needed, and then that's for the factory sound tube, and I haven't had that thing for years. So basically just got to clean a couple things like that up and then scuff everything up, and the engine bay will be good to go. Okay, as for stuff on the outside of the car, one of the things I wanted Cliff to do was something he actually did to his personal S197 chassis, and that's shave the antenna. So it's something I don't even use anymore. I don't even remember the last time I listened to the radio in this car, so it looks really clean on his car, so I plan on getting him to do it to mine as well. Also, something else, I got him to shave my deck lid a few years ago. This isn't RTR. This is actually, hard to get the angle, but this is actually black paint here, and Cliff cut this section out. I'll throw some pictures up on the screen here, but he actually cut this section out and then smoothed it all, and he painted it black so it would resemble the 1314 rear end. I want to get him to paint it red. The reason I want to get him to paint it red is because I saw a couple at Mustang Week a few years back that had the color matched RTR panel, and I really liked how it looked. So I think I'm going to do the same thing with mine, just to try it out. I could always go back to black if I don't like the red, but basically just wanted to kind of change it up. This right here is my big box of just extra piping that I didn't use. I got a bunch of T-bolt clamps in here, fittings for like my turbo drain, and just all kinds of random fittings that I have to use for the turbo stuff. I showed you guys this in the last video, I believe. This is the charge pipe that Michael Chamberlain replicated off of his car for me. Alright, this catch can right here, it's actually a coolant tank and catch can all in one. It was made by Christian Murillo. I'll throw his Instagram somewhere up here. But this is probably one of the nicest pieces that's going to be going on the car. Super high quality, really nice cap on it. And it's a lot of guys that are running these now and they don't have any issues. He puts a nice drain down here on the bottom so you can run a push lock line and run it out of the fender well. But super nice piece, really great guy to deal with. Highly recommend. His work is top notch, and it's a really nice piece. I'm glad to have it. So one of the other things, kind of hard to get the whole thing in frame, but this pipe right here, that is the downpipe. I was able to get it all in one piece, and I can take it in and out nice and easy, not too hard. Then obviously we have cold side pipe in here. I think I showed you that in the last video as well, but I didn't have the blow off valve welded on. So I got the blow off valve welded on, everything. Got this pipe all finished up. Everything fits great. I believe I showed you the coolant pipes in the last video, so I'm not going to drag these out, but this is the lower and then this is the upper right here. And then I was saying something in the last video about some BL Fab radiator brackets, but I actually just took the stock ones and egged them out, and they're going to be covered up by the little radiator cover panel anyways. So I'm just going to spray these with some wrinkle black, just like I did the thermostat housing, which I also modified. So if you see here, I took and capped off the back and welded that on, and then just taped up this section and hit it with some wrinkle black, and it turned out really nice. I'll probably either get some new bolts or try and clean these up a little bit. Another piece, not so much custom, but obviously on 3 Performance, this is their 5-inch intercooler. I was going to go with a treadstone, but this was like half the price, and I'm not shooting for super crazy horsepower numbers. I want to live between like 700 and 800, so the on 3 should be plenty for that, and then still be efficient enough to where if I ever do want to turn it up one day, my IATs won't be super high. Right here we got my Boss manifold with the stock painted throttle body, and then the BL Fab Wiggins clamp adapter on there, and then there's my Wiggins style clamp. And I also got all the fuel rail and everything mounted up, got some ID 1000 injectors, and got the intake, I call it shaved. I got all the nipples cut off of it, so it's going to be a lot cleaner. And also cut this one off and then drilled and tapped it. This is a -6 AN. I'm going to run a line under the intake, and that's going to feed my vacuum block. And then on the other side of the vacuum block, it's actually going to go to a billet check valve on the brake booster. Main goal with the car is to have a clean car that I can drive on the street, but also take it through the track. I love going through the track, always have, but I figured since I was pulling everything apart, engine was out of the car, transmission's out of the car, I might as well have cleaned it up. And so that's why I decided to do the shaved bay, the wire tuck and all that stuff. So if you're wondering, that's why. I just want to have a nice, clean, streetable, but more so track oriented car. Another custom little piece that I forgot to show on the table over here was just this little bracket that I made to mount the fuel pressure regulator underneath the intake manifold. But I'm actually going to remake this because I drilled these holes here thinking I would have the regulator a little more forward, and I actually needed to have it a little further back. This braided stainless PTFE isn't as flexible as AN line, so I had to have more of a gradual bend to it, so I had to scoot the regulator back to make the bend from the front of the fuel rails to the ports on the regulator. Also, another little custom piece, I actually made this fan shroud. I actually put this in a metal brake, and when I did the brake right here at the top, it actually cracked all the way across, so that's why I ran this bead here. But my plan is to just kind of grind this down and make it a nice little gradual turn as opposed to a bead all the way. And I'm going to get this powder coated as well. But it's coming along. Just figured I'd throw a little video together and update you guys again. I'm trying to stay more on top of things. I'm getting really close to start throwing stuff back together. I just have to do a few of the things that I've mentioned in this video, like getting the engine bay prepped and everything. But once the engine bay gets painted, I can start throwing the engine together. Once the engine's together, it'll just start coming all together. One major purchase I have left is the T56 Magnum. So like I said, I'm in no rush to get the car together at this point. It's already, April 24th. So it's already, spring's over, and that was my deadline before. But obviously I'm not going to make that. So shooting for at least by the end of the year at this point. So if I miss the racing this year with my car, I got plenty of buddies that go through the track. I could always go with them. But yeah. Oh yeah, we got one more thing. Let me show you that. It's a mess in my truck, so just ignore all the stuff in the floor. But we got some brand new Gen 2 cylinder heads. So shout out to Orby. I'll throw his information on the screen here as well. He got me hooked up with a guy that got me these, and brand new out of the box. Only reason I couldn't keep the box because I had to turn in my cores and he sent them back. But got the Gen 2 ports over here. You can see that the edges of them are flat. So I'm actually going to have a legit 3-2-1 build now. So it's going to be Gen 3 stock bottom end, Gen 2 heads, Gen 1 cams. So I'm pretty excited about that. Those heads will make a lot more power. Well, maybe not a lot more, but they'll definitely make more power than my Gen 1s with less boost. Still have to get a few things from the Ford dealership. I ordered new primary and secondary chains. I got new tensioner guides, new primary and secondary tensioners. So really the only thing I have left to order is just like a couple random items. But like I was saying, guys, I really appreciate everybody watching. I'm going to really try to stay on top of things and start recording more as I do the work. So hopefully things will stay up to date. If you look on my Instagram, my Instagram is way further ahead than my YouTube channel. So like I said, I'm going to try and stay on top of things, record more when I'm actually doing the work on the car, and then hold the post on Instagram to post the videos on YouTube. So if you guys like what you see, subscribe. There's going to be a lot more videos coming out of this thing. So I hope to see you guys checking it out. Until then, see you next time.